Jenny Davis today. Before we kick off the podcast, I want to let you know that we're giving away a free copy of Sam Carpenter's best-selling book, the one right there behind me, Work the System. And we'll be going over how you can get a copy of that book for free at the end of this live stream. All right, Jenny, it looks like the Facebook is working today for us. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Welcome to the Work the System podcast, where we help entrepreneurs make more and work less using systems. And I'm your host, Josh Fonger. And today we have special guest, Jenny Davis. Jenny has the quote, "The quickest way to innovate is to take lessons from one world and apply them to another." She was the fastest woman in Scottish sprint cycling. As a Commonwealth Games medalist, Jenny understands what it takes to envision, plan, train, compete, and thrive on and off the track. Using timeless principles
I mean, I'd been to a chiropractor before. My dad had a good friend that was a chiropractor, but I really didn't know what it was until I started, in the profession, and really fell in love with what it means. And not to be super spiritual, but a lot of people think chiropractic is neck pain and back pain. It's so much more. There's more chiropractors. They tend to live a more health and wellness lifestyle than most medical doctors. It is about that lifestyle, and it lined up with what I believe as a believer, that God created our bodies to heal. And I fell in love with the profession. So I did that for a couple of years. The issue is I just wasn't making as much money as I did in the precious metals business, but still I fell in love with the profession. And then that opened the door for me to start doing some consulting back in 2008. That's about whenever this was, 2007, 2008. I actually started the very first podcast for chiropractors, and it was called Chiropractic Marketing University. I only did 6 to 10 episodes. It was horrible. Anyway, I stopped it back then. I wish I would have stuck with it. But fast forward 2015, 2014, I decided to just rebrand the podcast and just kind of start over. I already had a lot of connections in the profession, and we just rebranded it from Chiropractic Marketing University to just Chiro Candy, and it really started as just a podcast. I interviewed. The ideal is look, I'm not a healthcare professional, but I think like a marketer, and I want to help chiropractors market. I want to help them think like that. And I just wanted to create value. One thing we did also is we helped chiropractors write books. That's another story. But so we were kind of doing that. And then one of the clients that we did a book for said, "Hey, have you ever done Facebook?" And I had, but never for, a chiropractor. And he said, "I was trying it. Ads kept getting disapproved. They shut down my ads account. I just didn't know if you'd ever done any of that before." I said, "You know what? Let's give it a shot." And so the first month he had, 50 something leads, and his case fees were around $3,000 to $6,000. So 50 leads, if only, 30% come in, he's still making, a fortune. And then he started referring people to us. And right now we are just over 180 accounts is how many we have. So, but that's been over the past, 5 years. We've kind of grown to that. Anyway, I can just keep on talking, but I'm going to stop and let you ask questions.
No, that's fantastic. So about 180 accounts. What does that amount to monthly recurring wise, if you can share?
Right now, well, this is one of the things that we do different.
Okay.
Now, when I started, I didn't take a course on how to start an agency. I just knew the profession. I knew chiropractors. I knew what I felt was totally fair. Because a lot of times whenever you have campaigns set up, there's not a whole lot of work you have to do. Up. So our fees are $1,500 set up. After that, we only charge $595 a month.
Okay.
So we are a fraction of what everybody else is charging, but it works. We've got a lot of clients been with us a long time. We still do have some attrition, and I think one of the issues is so many people have taken courses on, Facebook. If that's what we focus on, Facebook, and we also do Google pay-per-clicks. But there's so many people that have taken a course and they decided, now they know how to do Facebook. They're going after chiropractors. I think that's one of the reasons we see, some of the ones that cancel, because they're getting bombarded all the time with, hey, let me do your ads. Let me do your ads. Fortunately, a lot of the clients we get every month are people who used to be with us, left went somewhere else, and then now they're coming back. So we see an awful lot of that, which there's a lot of principle. There's a teaching moment in that. Whenever somebody does quit, make sure you are extremely professional, that it makes it easy for them to come back.
Absolutely. Never leave one that turn, right? It's a great point.
Right. If you were like, well, you know what? Well, you just weren't doing this, and this. Now, there's sometimes that's the case. Look, you can't say we're not working whenever you were totally non-compliant. You didn't do anything, but you still just, you know what? Look, we appreciate your business. We're always here in the future. If you need anything at all, reach out to us. And it makes it easier for them, to come back. So,
absolutely. Anyway, so we're completely focused on chiropractic. The agency's called Chiro Candy. 180 plus clients on retainer-based service, predominantly running ads to generate leads and new patients into the practice. Sounds like you landed on the niche. Was it for an actual job at this chiropractic office where you were marketing director and that's that 10-page plan, and that's how this whole niche kind of materialized for you?
Well, back then, Facebook was really more for just colleges, college students.
Yeah,
it wasn't what it is today. That really introduced me to the profession and what it really meant. I don't know of another profession that's as passionate about their message. Maybe ministers, chiropractors, and multi-level marketing people, right? They all have a message they're trying to share, right? And I just, really fell in love with the profession. So that really got me in the door. And that actually builds a lot of credibility with our company whenever people, which I like to get into this here in a minute, our process from attracting clients, from scheduling calls, what that looks like. But whenever they hear that I'm not just somebody who took a course and decided to target chiropractors, that, for 12 years now, 13 years, we've been involved in the profession. I travel and speak I've spoken at a lot of the different colleges. I've been to London to speak to chiropractors, to Paris, all over. We really have done a good job getting known in the profession. So
that's great. That's great. So I guess before we talk about how you land and how you deliver for your clients, can you talk a little bit about what it is, what the package, I guess you did a little bit. So it's a setup fee and then a monthly fee to manage ads and generate new patient inquiries. Bottom line?
Pretty much, yes. So we do $1,500 setup, and then it's $595 a month. That's just for Facebook and Instagram. If they want to do Google also, it's an additional $250. Something else we do that I actually stole from a network marketing company was if I have a client and they refer 3 other clients, as long as those 3 clients are active, then they get their Facebook done for free. Every month, forever, as long as they have at least 3 active referrals. We were a little bit hesitant, we thought it may be a good idea, and we tried it. And believe it or not, out of all of our clients, we may have 3 to get their stuff done for free. It may be more than that. My admin can tell me better. There's not a whole lot, because what happens is we have, you have a couple of accounts that, they'll refer, 8 to 10 people to you. And then you have some that will refer 1 or 2, so that is just something else that we offer that not many people do. and it works out well. They still have to pay setup fees. They still do all that. But we've actually had it before where somebody's paid a setup fee. That's been it. They referred other people to us.
3 people that signed up before they even had to pay the first month.
And and so as long as you're delivering and they're happy, where else are they going to go? Now, obviously, the $595 does not include ad spend.
Sure.
They have to do that. But that's pretty much, our basic package. Now, that's going to be a couple of campaigns a month. We do have programs, some of our offices, they may be integrated and they may be doing stem cells or some of these things. And some offices do dinner talks once a week. There's different ways to set those up. We can do them a little more generic where leads come in and then their office their staff schedule them, for whatever workshop they have coming up. We like those a little because they're a little simpler to set up, but some want it to be very, very specific per campaign. Like, we're doing, this one is going to be Tuesday the 13th, at 6:00 at, whatever restaurant or whatever hotel, whatever. And if we're getting real specific on that, then we do charge extra to do more campaigns a month than what we normally do. So.
Got it. Great. It sounds like a great program. Of course, you're tracking and following up, and the value proposition is there, right? They spend their $597 plus ad spend. They're generating more than enough in revenue to say, Billy, thank you so much. You're amazing.
Right. And I think also with what happened, during this quarantine the past couple of months, we were a little concerned. We did have some accounts that said, oh, hey, we just need to put our accounts on hold, which I get, but it wasn't that many. I think because we are at a lower price point than a lot of people, if you're spending, $1,500 to $2,000 a month for an agency, you're more likely to say, you know what, right now we got to stop that.
Right.
But if it's just $595, so you know what, let's keep that going. We still need some more
people.
Flies
underneath the radar a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. But it's been great, and we've considered raising prices some, but it works. And actually, how we pay our staff. When we first started, it was me, 40 to 50 accounts. I did everything. I wore every hat. I did all the sales calls. I managed all the accounts. And you always have some accounts that are a little more high maintenance. You have some that they're great. And fortunately, I learned pretty quick. That was around the time whenever we started getting high maintenance accounts, we would just say, you know what, we're not a good fit. And we would, refer them out to somebody else. Especially if they're only paying us, $600 a month, I would rather not deal with somebody high maintenance whenever we can get somebody else that's easy, and I do that. But then we started hiring, some staff. And the way we do that, we were paying them a salary based on roughly how many accounts they wanted to manage. But our staff, they're all local. Nobody's outsourced to the Philippines or anything like that. It's really people that we've gone to church with, or, somebody knew somebody or whatever. And we pay them $100 per account they manage. So if you want to manage 20 accounts, then you're going to get $2,000 a month, and you get to work from your house, get to make your own schedule. So it's not a bad deal. If they want more than that, they do more. Something else we just started is now, used to, I did all the sales calls. We were going on a mission trip, and my oldest son is actually married, and he and his wife both just graduated college. And he really helps run a lot of our business too. But I didn't want to not have any new business that week that we were going to be gone. So I said, look, do you want to take some sales calls? All you need to do is find out what's going on in their practice, what are their goals, let them know how we can help. I kind of laid out, gave him somewhat of a script, and then just left everything the same. End of the week, he signed up like 5 people.
Wow.
And all of a sudden I realized I don't even have to do sales calls.
It's a lot. I was talking with someone the other day. It's one of the most liberating feelings in the world when you can have someone else take the sales call and the business is happening without you having to do every single sales call.
And it's been great. So now I can still work on the business instead of working in the business. I don't manage any accounts. As a matter of fact, Brady doesn't manage any accounts either. He actually manages our staff. So all of our staff are required to have a one-on-one with Brady every week. They do it via Zoom, and they go over all their accounts. What's working great, what's not. And that's just a requirement. It's not optional. All of our staff have to do that. So, that's been great also. But one of the things I learned is we were always on the phone with staff, not our staff, but client staff. And a friend of mine said, why don't you just put all that in a training that their staff goes to? I was like, that's brilliant, So now we do have that. So whenever somebody comes on, we have a training for their staff on how to follow up with the leads, different scripts to use, different things like this. The mindset, because Facebook is nobody's going to Facebook looking for a chiropractor or a landscape company, or that's what they go to Google for. So it's a different mindset, and the staff needs to know that when they're following up. Just because somebody filled out a lead form doesn't mean they're going to show up, and that's okay. We know statistically 30% or more should. And so we kind of help them with some mindset stuff, following up very quickly. We want them to, have the mindset. Look, if they say no, that's okay. That's one of the 7 that's going to say no. Go find the 3. And because it's easy for their staff to get a negative mindset. If they're not accustomed to somebody saying no, all of a sudden in their mind, all Facebook or Instagram leads.
These are all garbage leads. I don't even
all garbage. And so they just don't treat any of them that way. And you can't have that. You have to have a level of expectancy, knowing that they didn't accidentally click on the ad and accidentally type in their name and phone number and email and all that. So we have some training for that. And then we also have some training for the doctors on some things that we ask them to do. We try to make it very simple. So we have that. That was a major growth point for us whenever we implemented that. And then we realized.
So it's like a membership area that every client gets access to, and their staff has access to these modules that train them on, these are the types of leads you're going to get. This is how you need to think about these leads. And these are some scripts you can follow to kind of book as many of these as possible.
Right. And we use
find that help them get it. They get it. It's like, okay, now I understand how to deal with this better than if you just sent them the leads, pretty soon they're like, oh, these leads are no good.
Right. And so something else that we realized is we use Teachable. So it's great because it shows you, did they actually go through the training? We said, look, you didn't even go through the training. So we realized when people would cancel, the majority of people that would cancel, they do it within the first couple of months, and most of them never went through the training. They didn't do a few other things that we asked. So what I started doing, I got this idea from Russell Brunson. They realized the same thing with ClickFunnels. The people that were canceling never went through their onboarding, never really learned how to use it. So he would send out a free shirt once you completed just a little onboarding process. So we did something very similar. I designed a shirt. I thought I may have one sitting in here, but it just says, "Who's your chiropractor?" And it says Chiro Candy, real small at the back. It cost us, $8 to $10 for these shirts. So now, as soon as they go through the training, the doctors get a shirt and their staff gets a shirt.
Love it.
We will spend $20 if that means we're going to keep a client much longer. It's a no-brainer.
Social proof is if you can get them in the shirt, all the better, right?
That's right. That's right. So, that was something that was real big for us. Something else, whenever I was doing all the sales calls, and some of your the listeners can probably relate to this. Some of them, I know they're thinking, I would love to get one sales call. How do I get sales calls? And we can talk about that in a minute. But one of the things is, there were certain days where I may have 7 or 8 calls in a day. Mm-hmm. And after your third one, they kind of run together. And you kind of forget, did I already use this example? Did I do this? And it was just so much. That same friend that gave me the idea about, putting the training together for their staff said, why don't you just have a pre-call video where that's your sales pitch? They schedule a call. They're required to watch a short video. It's the sales pitch. This is why you do what you do. This is what makes you different. We don't go over any pricing, I don't think, on that. But it's just who we are, why we're different, so on and so forth. And then by the time they get on the phone, you're just answering a couple of questions and getting their credit card information. And so that was a big change. And we still use that video. And so now we have we have 2 designated salespeople that take sales calls. Every once in a while, somebody will request, I need to speak to Billy. And so I may do a sales call. I did one last week, for example. But normally it's them. Something else we did for our staff, though, is if you're managing, these 20 or 30 accounts, and one of those, your accounts sends in a referral, you get the option to take that sales call. So not only do you, if they sign up, which there's a great chance they are, if they're a referral from somebody that you're already working with, and the way we look at it is they're referring somebody because you're doing a good job. So if you take the sales call, they get a $300 commission whenever they sign up, and they get an additional $100 a month. So it grows their income as well. So those are some of the different things. I feel like we're kind of all over the place, but those are some of the things that in the process of how we run our agency, it's just been great for us. It keeps the staff's happy. They have more opportunity. So it's working well.
Tremendous insights, guys. If you're getting value, be sure to hit the like button or say, hey, thanks, Billy. This is great. I love the agile team structure that you have, right? You don't just pay people salaries. You kind of have it structured out by what they get paid based on the amount of accounts that they handle. And that gives you almost unlimited scalability. And it's because of the one-on-one calls, you can kind of monitor the quality, right? The one-on-one calls with your son. It's your son, right, Brady?
Right. Yes. Yeah. I'm 45. He's 22. And whenever we first started, he was getting ready to move off to college. He actually went to Bible school for a couple of years in Dallas, and then finished his degree at Dallas Baptist University. But we were trying to get him, like when he was a senior in high school, my wife was like, look, you should, work in the business, do some of this stuff. When you're 18, you've got the world figured out, right? He's like, no. And he was, that was 5 hours from where we live now. And he would come in on the weekends, and it was during Christmas one year. Actually, I had gone and spoken at an event and had like 15 new accounts, like in one weekend sign up. And I was kind of in the weeds trying to get everything set up. And I said, look, I will pay you X amount of dollars to help set up these accounts. And finally, he's like, done. I'll be right there. And so he started, getting in the business. And I think when it comes to staff, and I'm sure, Josh, you can relate to this, you have some team members that are great at following instructions. You tell them the steps to do, they are going to do those steps. And then you have the ones who they understand the steps and they understand why you're doing those steps. If you're doing these steps to get to this result, what if there's a few different steps that might make that result bigger or easier or whatever? And that's really how Brady thought. And we have a few staff like that now. They just see the bigger picture. And it wasn't long till I realized he's really good at this. He gets it, and he's better than I am at a lot of this stuff now, which I am totally okay with. It doesn't hurt my feelings at all. There was a conference I went to one time, and it was all about being a CEO. It was pretty much for chiropractors, but there was some of us in there that were just involved in the profession that weren't doctors. But one of the exercises we went through is there's 3 different things we had to write down. The first thing, he said, I want you to write down things that you do that you hate doing, that you feel like nobody does them better. Just write those down. Now I want you to write down things that you do because you're good at, but you don't necessarily love doing it. It just needs to be done, so you do it. Then I want you to write down the things that you do that you love doing. You would never delegate because it just lights your fire doing these things. He said, so from now on, here's what we're going to do. You are never going to do what you don't like doing. He called that red, yellow, and then green. You're never going to do the red. You're never going to do the yellow. Delegate that. And you know what? If they're doing it 80% compared to your 100%, that's okay. They're never going to grow. So you have to be okay with that. But when you can start delegating and loosen up the reins, giving them some control, that's when you can actually work less. You focus on the green, you work less, and you can make more. And something else he said is when you're doing the stuff you don't like doing, it stops momentum in your business. When you're doing the yellow, the stuff that just needs to be done, it slows down things. But when you're focused on your core competency, what you love doing, that fuels momentum. And if you can focus on just those things and let other people do the rest, that's when you can really grow. And that is whenever we saw a lot of growth. One of the issues we would have as we would grow is, now, I have no issue spending money on ads. So we have referrals coming in. I do go and speak, and we still have a podcast, so people come in that way. But I will spend $6,000 to $10,000 a month on ads. It's fine. I know we're going to see a return in that. So one of the things that would happen is we used to pay our staff a salary. But let's say that we're paying people based on them willing to manage about 20 accounts. Well, we do still lose some accounts every month. Probably 7 to 10 a month we lose. Fortunately, we gain 20 or more normally. But what was happening is that means we're having to hire somebody new every couple of months. If they're only going to manage 20, every couple of months I'm having to hire somebody new. Well, what had happened is we turned around and we have all these staff that we're paying to manage, let's just say 20 accounts. But because of people canceling, they're all averaging 15 to 16. Well, now our payroll is inflated and we're hiring more people. And that's whenever we made that change. Like, okay, we're not doing that anymore. But one of the things that would happen is we would get a lot of new clients. And then we would have to stop. Sure. We would have to stop and say, we can't take on anymore because everybody's full. We don't have.
On your.
What's that? Are you there? You're frozen. Did I lose you? Hello, hello. Yep, I think Josh is frozen. I'm seeing somebody. I'm looking at the chat. Can you guys still hear me? Oh, he's gone. I wonder if he's going to sign back on. All right. Thanks, guys. Okay, looks like Josh is going to sign back on. So let me see if some other insight that I can share. It was very eye-opening, if you will, when I did start, handing stuff off, being okay with them managing the accounts. Okay. You're back, huh? Are you there? I think you're muted.
All right, I'm back. I don't know what happened.
There
I guess
you go.
I dropped there.
There you go. No problem. I was getting ready to start saying something, and I really just didn't say anything. So
I mean, everything you shared there was tremendous, tremendous insights. And I think what you were talking about there is finding people that play at what you have to work at so that you can do the things that you really enjoy, that you're passionate about. And that frees you up to put talented people in place to really get some momentum going. So a question that everybody wants to know, and it's coming up in comments. So 20 clients this month, on average 20 clients per month. What's the mix look like? How do you get that many clients coming in on a consistent basis?
It's a great question. And I do want to say some of it, I think, is just favor. We have been around long enough. A lot of people, they do know who we are. But even if, I mean, I see these people that are going after chiropractors, for example, I wouldn't recommend it. Like right now, if you're starting off, I just think there are other niches that aren't as crowded as the chiropractic space.
It's definitely not a blue ocean right now.
It's not. And it's not that I'm worried. I mean, we still do great, right? I think, right now, 120 to 130 revenue a month. So we're doing fine. But if you're starting off right now, I just think there's other areas. We have something that I teach, and it's just called the 5 Ps. And I was talking to somebody last night at church about this. He's wanting to start his own business, not necessarily an agency. He's just wanting to start his own business. And I think the first thing you have to do is figure out what problem you're going to solve. If you want to make money, solve expensive problems for rich people. That's great. And that can go as deep as, think about everything that you pay for. A lawn company, they're solving a problem. You don't want to mow, right? A pool company, we have somebody that cleans our house. When you go to a restaurant, some of it is kind of for entertainment, but you don't want to cook, right? These are people that are solving problems. And then it can grow from there. But in an agency, are you going to work on SEO? Is it going to be lead generation? Is it going to be, web design? Whatever it is, just decide what problem it is that that you want to solve, and for who. Who is it you want to solve these problems for? And then that's going to lead to the second P, which is the product, right? That's what it is you're actually going to do. Is it going to be Facebook and Instagram, or YouTube, or Google, or web, SEO, text messaging, whatever it is? Just find out, figure out the problem, what product you're going to use to do that. And then you have to come up with a plan. The plan is what does that look like? How do you get your first client? And the first client, so you have the problem, the product, the plan, but you have to have proof. So once you kind of know, you have an idea. As of
today, our blog has 200
new Facebook ads for chiropractors. That's the plan. Well, now we need proof, right? And that's what we did. We had Dr. Aaron Gum was his name. We wrote a book for him. He wanted us to do some Facebook ads. So now we need the proof. 50 leads the first month. And all of a sudden we have that testimonial, and we didn't charge him anything. I mean, he'd already paid us to do the book for him, but he didn't charge us to do Facebook. We did that, or we didn't charge him for that. We did it for free. And it was unbelievably worth it because he was an influencer and started referring people to us. And so that's the proof. Once you have the proof, then your last, your fifth thing is the promotion. And the promotion can be a couple of things. Promotion can just be scaling, but it's also having people in your business that you can promote with the business. So we can spend a lot of time on those 5 Ps.
That's a powerful breakdown of the 5 Ps. I love it.
But once you know what it is, and let's say if you're just starting off, you may try something. We actually used to do websites for people too. I didn't like it. I just didn't enjoy it. And we still, at least weekly, have somebody say, hey, do you guys do websites? There's a company that's pretty well known in the profession. We just refer people out to them. It wasn't our core competency. I'm just not going to build a business around something, that I don't enjoy doing. Now, a little bit of a sidetrack. We would do Facebook ads. We used ActiveCampaign and ClickFunnels. And we still do some of that, but we've recently switched over to HighLevel.
So good.
It's phenomenal. It's just really been a game changer. And it has been a little bit of a transition because our whole team is having to go through, this process. So we started using HighLevel, and Brady actually is the one that discovered it. And he tried it out on just a handful of accounts and realized, okay, this is really good. And then it has been a process, us moving everybody over, because sometimes if it's not broke, why fix it?
Why fix it? Yeah, it's tough to do that.
So you're like, oh, do we really want to switch this? But it has been really nice, being able to, they've just done a great job developing their software. Anyway, what was I saying? So you have to figure out what it is. Like, you may start off doing websites and realize you don't like it. You may start doing SEO, but you just need some success. You need
validate that you can actually generate a result and prove the concept. And when you got that proof and you've got a client that will sing your praises, the promotion becomes so much easier to go out and say, hey, here's what we do for this space, and here's the validation that we know what we're doing.
Absolutely. And what it does for you, right? It's also going to help you, get new business, but it does make you feel good because, you had this plan and it worked, right? You're proving it to yourself too. And it's great. I remember, we used to just charge $500 a month, and the goal was, can you imagine whenever we have somebody, like every day we have at least one client being charged? That's going to be great.
Yeah, 30 times 500, that's big money, right?
Yeah, we're like, oh my goodness. And now we're averaging around 4,000 to 5,000 a day. And I don't think we have any days that somebody's not being charged. But you start seeing the success, and then you start having these benchmarks, like, well, wait till I get 5 clients, and then wait till I get this, and wait till I get that. But if once you have your proof, it's going to be hard, but spend money on some ads. If you don't have the way to go out and get these referrals organically, just spend some money on ads. We look at things the way we look at our numbers. We're okay spending up to $200 just for someone to schedule a call with us, because we know 70% of the people we talk to will sign up within the next 90 days. Those are our numbers. Now, since the beginning of the year, even before COVID, a lot of times in the year, we always see a bunch of growth during the beginning of the year. Our cost per leads, cost per call scheduled, is averaging around $50.
Oh, nice.
It just dropped. So we're okay. We'll just keep spending the same amount.
Ratchet it up, right? If you go up to 200, you might as well crank it, right?
Right, but even if you're doing, let's say, $50 a day, or you're doing $100 a day, at first you're like, when you're starting off and you don't have those resources. But let's say that you have $1,000 that you can spend in ads. You borrow it, okay, and you get enough calls scheduled, and you need one person to sign up and pay, a setup fee, and now you're back even.
To recoup the expense, right?
Recoup it all. But when you can start looking at those numbers, man, it is tough to start. But that would be one thing you can do. It's like, just spend money.
Yeah.
If you don't have the money to spend, what I would do is similar to, everybody talks about the Dream 100. Write down who are some people in that industry that are influencers. Reach out to those people and offer to do whatever service it is you're going to provide for free for some of the influencers. And just say, look, I love what you're doing for the profession. This is one of the things we do. Is there any way I can, do this service for you for free? You don't have to do it forever. You can either do it for a couple of weeks or do it for a month. But let them know. So, look, I want to do this for you. If it's working well, we just hope that you refer people to us. That can do it. Because if you can get a couple of key influencers that are singing your praises, man, it changes everything. And then people start seeing you with the same authority that they see them with if they're the ones recommending you. So that would be one of those two ways would be what I would recommend at first. Another way would be, what businesses are you already doing business with?
Reach out to one of them. That sphere of influence and reach out and say, hey, look, let's do something. I've got a concept or an idea. Let me prove it with you, right? Let me do this for you.
Absolutely.
Show you that it works. And now you've got the basis to go out and tell people, hey, look, I can help. Here's what I did for this guy or this gal.
Right.
Powerful. So there's a couple questions in here I want to make sure we get to. So a couple people are asking, what's the average spend for one of your clients in addition to your management fee? What do you recommend they spend on ads?
We recommend $25 to $30 a day minimum.
Okay.
One of the things we're real big about is building retargeting audiences. In the chiropractic niche, they are so passionate about their message. We like these docs to do short videos, and we have like 57 sample videos from our clients that we show them. Hey, here's tons of different ideas. And so we want some of that budget to go towards content in their community, because in Facebook, let's just take, anybody that watches 25 to 50%, you start building a retargeting audience. So that's kind of what we recommend. We have some offices that spend $10,000 to $12,000 a month in ads. So a lot of these, they're not regular chiropractic offices. There are some integrated offices, and they're doing stem cells. Where their case fees are $6,000, they'll spend, the money as long as it's working. We've never started someone off.
Well, you can close that or mute that.
See, that's
$1,500 setup. We pay 20% of that in commission.
Nope, that's that one and that one. It's not the one outside.
So I don't know.
That's because it's an IP camera.
Like one guy's actually, he pastors a church.
That's too funny. So you saw me streaming?
Yeah, I turned it on.
There it goes. It's working with this.
And it's still neither of these. Hello, USB audio.
Nope, that's that.
That's
Just do it again. Just get out of it and do it again, because now it's working.
I just haven't checked the numbers in the past couple of months. Yeah, somewhere through there.
maybe we can do.
Can you stream the audio from the app? That's an idea.
On the referral side. So I think that's a function of providing a world-class service that's affordable, that has a tangible, measurable return on investment. And then you've incentivized them, like you said, where for every 3 referrals, you might get
is Les Landis, who is sharing with us the power and purpose of imagination and free will. Les?
Okay, guys, let's see if I can get my share screen working here.
Seeds of expectation.
Sweet.
What's up, Will? What's up, Stephanie? What's up, Ben? Jennifer, I'm probably talking to you guys before you're fully logged in.